Family was good.
What's good? What's good with y'all?
So anyway, we were just talking off camera about ancestry, and to be honest, we didn't have shit to talk about today. We just talked, right? Like always, letting it go where it go. You know what I mean? So my boys had looked into his ancestry, which a lot of us melanated people here in the States don't know where we come from in the first damn place. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So I'll let you go ahead and say what you was talking about, bro.
So my sister actually got me into it. It wasn't like, and after she got me into it, I really understood the importance of actually researching your ancestry, and not only your bloodline, because it's not just your bloodline. You share it with people. So going into it or whatever, the further I got back, the more I realized this ain't going back to Africa. And as I did more research, we know this is the reason. Personally, this is the reason why I feel like reparations will never happen in America, just due to the fact that we don't know who to ask for the reparations.
God damn, bro, how we go from?
It's all intertwined.
Yeah,
and that's one of the things I just wanted to say. Like,
look, he just went straight in to cut the check.
Yeah.
But no, but like us as Black people, we tend to not care, and then like we're living amongst our cousins, literally. Like if you've done it, if you've really done it, and you see how many people are up there, how many your closest to your distance. I got about 15,000 cousins still living on this earth right now.
You know what's scary, man? I was adopted, right? One of my biggest fears, bro,
Knocking off your cousin.
was knocking off a closely related family member
Ooh.
that I ain't know was related.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That was one of my.
And I'm in the
hopefully, fingers crossed. I didn't, because it's a few years I was wilding.
because
I remember those days.
I went through a moment, you know what I mean? Everybody got a story to tell about me except for me. I was too drunk.
But honestly, most Black people only get 1/4 of their family story, and that's usually the person who raised them, and especially if they're raised in a single parent household, and if they got grandma and they don't got grandfather, then you only know 1/4, because it takes four people to make you. That's how a bloodline works. It takes you, your mama and your daddy, and their mama and daddies. You get what I'm saying? So it takes 4 people to form a bloodline to where it goes to. So right now, just in Virginia and North Carolina, I got 40 cousins that I've never met, except for like 3 of them. And I got an aunt. I got a half aunt that lives in Fayetteville. And I feel like that's very important, because this it also has things to do with bloodline. What's that called when it mutilating your bloodline? Just how you get a lot of these diseases and not diseases, just illnesses in general, because you're cross-lining your bloodline with the same bloodline. So it causes everything from autism. It causes a lot of cancerous things. It helps, like, for instance, you might carry the gene. You might carry the gene, a cancer gene.
It's a goddamn historian.
Nah, you know what? I don't. All jokes aside, though, I don't think he worded it right, but I do remember reading like an article years ago, and they were talking about how basically overseas and like some Middle Eastern countries, that's one of the reasons that's messing a lot of them up over there, is because you have people who like marrying their first cousins.
Yeah.
Like that's a big issue over there.
Oh, Natty, what up, Natty boy? Natty boy in the building.
Yeah.
He said genetic defects.
Yeah, facts. That's what it causes. Because think about it this way, right? Anytime you double up on something, you give it an opportunity to actually happen. So like you might have a cancer gene in your just because it's hereditary in your system, but it might be dormant in you. But you might cross it with somebody else, not knowing that she might be your fourth cousin somewhere down the line, and she might carry the same gene. Now you make your lives, your you know what I'm saying, your kids 2 times more likely to have that genetic defect, for real. That's how it works. And we don't know about it because they won't tell us about it due to the fact that, and it like I said, it all comes together. When you realize the reason why Asians got that once Biden got into office, why they got that law passed for them, the South Asian Act or whatever it was called. For the
you talking about the anti-Asian hate?
Because they knew who to go to if they needed to really talk to somebody. I go back to my home country and I bring this up to the UN. Us, on the other hand, who we gonna go to? We can't go to nobody but the people that's allowing it. And that's how it works.
That kind of segues into the topic of the day, though, man. Like, what is a man? You know, what is a man? A man is someone who, doesn't make excuses. We all dealing with something. We all dealing with something. And the bottom line is that is beyond our control. I didn't have a hand in what happened 300 years ago. I did my ancestry before too, and I had to do it for legal reasons over a land dispute. And I traced my ancestry back to a slave owner named Benjamin Drew. This cat died in like 1750. He ain't did a damn thing to me. What we got to do as a man, and more specifically as black men, we got to stop worrying about the past, worry about now and our future.
I don't really think that though.
They're not,
because your past, you can't really.
Oh wait, can I talk? Can I talk? Thank you. What I would like to say is, what made me look into my ancestry was I was sitting around one day, right? I have like 7 people in the back of my head, and we hold meetings sometimes. And we started to ask ourselves, who are we? Who am I? Right? So, after you get below all the surface shit, I'm a fly guy, I like this, and all the programming. You started
what we talking about?
You talking about me, brother. we talk about me, brother. You know what I mean? Once you get past that, you start to think about, well, where do I come from? You know what I mean? And what is it that makes me? What am I made of? And that made me go down this whole rabbit hole of looking down ancestry. And I say that just to tie in, just to kind of piggyback off of what y'all said, as far as being a man. I mean, the first thing is knowing who you are, right? Who you are, what you stand for, and what you believe. Because without that grounding and foundation, you still a boy. Where's my applause? Where the fuck is my applause? There it is. Yes, sir.
But I always say, like, you can't move in the future until you understand the mistakes of the past, because you'll be redoing the same mistakes of the past if you don't understand why it was a mistake in the first place, to even fix your steps in the present for the future.
But the good thing about that though is that you don't really even have to learn from your mistakes. You can learn from others' mistakes.
That's part of knowing the past.
That's what a wise man does.
Yeah.
And so for you to say that I have to go back and study my bloodline, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good thing to do, and people have various reasons for doing it, but it's not a necessity, because there are people out here who, for example, I know people who were adopted as kids.
Me too.
They still don't have a clue. But that didn't stop them from greatness.
But understand this, right? I tell everybody, don't think that you're special. You get what I'm saying? Like, what you're doing, your skill set, whatever your skill set is, it came from this. It came right. It came from those stem cells, from that bloodline. Everything like researching minds, my bloodline, and that's actually researching the people as well inside of it. You start learning like, damn, like I got scientists, doctors, lawyers, you know what I'm saying, public speakers, entertainers, things of that nature.
You ain't lying.
And you start realizing like, damn. So the reason why I'm interested like this, like I can sit back and not talk to nobody all day and just research shit, because that's just how my mind is fixed.
Let me
I got hold of my bloodline.
Let me translate that. I speak hood, right? So essentially, what my good frat brother is saying is, if part of being a man and knowing who you are, it gives you a reference point of what you're capable of by being able to point back and say, you know, I had a grandfather who was a doctor, or a great grandfather who accomplished these things, right? And it kind of lets you know what, if they could do it, I could do the same thing, which is, you know, why I say the first thing rooted in what is a man is knowing who you are and what you stand for. Some of us, because some of us don't come up in the greatest environments or have any immediate references, right? So we feel like we can't achieve anything beyond what our environment is. So knowing that we did have somebody in the past do this or do that, it's an inspiring thing. It's a good reference to sort of build off. You know what I mean?
And it also helps you look for your skill sets in your kids. You get what I'm saying? Like when you know they have certain skill sets. Like for instance, you ever see Mayweather post his grandchild on I think the one with the NBA young boy and his daughter, that grandchild, whatever. You see him walking around with the gloves, hitting stuff and things of that nature. Like, you know how to pretty much guide your kids to be successful, because you understand their skill set. Like on my grandmother's side, they're artists. They draw and shit like that. On my grandmother's side, I have a cousin, the first cousin, who's a dope artist. Does everything from animation to portraits and things of that nature. Sets up art galleries and things of that nature. It helps you be able to guide your kids to certain areas and certain aspects, and because a child really don't know who they are until they get a certain most of us don't really know who we are till we like in our 20s, what we're capable of doing.
Depending on your programming, though.
Yeah.
Right. So nurture plays a big part. You know, you have nurture, you have nature. Nurture plays a big part in who we become. So having that programming, like for example, my sons has a different programming than I did, because dad is there, right? So I get to see, they get to see how a man should move. Even if I'm moving wrong, they're using me as a reference point. You know what I mean? Well, whenever they run across a challenge, they'll say, well, dad handled his challenges by doing X, Y, Z. You know what I mean? Dad would cuss everybody out when he was frustrated, or dad would take some time, goes isolate himself, figure it the fuck out, and come back and with a calm head and attack whatever problem, right? So nurture is also very important to Cuzzo's point, right? Although being grounded and rooted in the history of where you come from, also you can start from where you are, right? And sort of move forward. So in today's time, if we harp too much on the past, right, and we harp too much on what happened to our ancestors, how do we move forward from that as a man, right? And define what a man is within our community. To Cuzzo's point. Did you want to add something to that, or did you want me to keep going? Okay, I can rock.
Nah. I mean, y'all summed it up. I'm just saying, like, I hate when things that are that weren't here or weren't available hundreds of years ago are used as excuses, you know. And that's what I feel like. That's what I feel like happens a lot of times. Like, you know, you have people say, "Oh, well, you know, it was just it was destined for me to be this way," you know. Like, you got people who really going through things, man, who really don't. You know what? Honestly, cuz I don't even know how to word it, because it's one of those things. It's like, I feel like it's internal. Like, you truly have a propensity for certain things. Like, there are some people who are artists. There are some people who can, you know, pick up a pen and a pad and can sit here and draw me in like 10, 15 minutes. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler, man. You know? But that doesn't have to stop you from some form of success or finding your lane. And I think like people will research their history and find everything that's wrong and use it as a crutch. Oh, well, this is why I'm this. This is why I'm that. Man, damn all that. This is like,
but that's not what you're supposed to do.
Sorry about that.
When you're researching your past, you're researching, understanding. Okay, I need to know. Like for instance, if you grew up in foster care, like I did, or whatever. I grew up in foster care till I was about 8, and then my grandma adopted me, or whatever the case may be. When you grow up in that aspect, you don't know anything about you. Everybody's looking at you like you're a special case, and not only that, but you can't even explain to them because you don't have any information to explain it. Like for instance, I'm a silent person, right? You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking like this right now. I can sit back and nobody will know I'm in the room because I could be so quiet into myself. Come to find out, I got a grandfather. Did the same exact thing. I never seen him in my life. Never met him, anything like that. Died in 1972. But according when I met my family, it's like, oh, you remind us just of you remind me of Pa. Pa used to just sit back, let everything go. Only time you might hear from him when somebody say a joke, he might laugh about it out loud and just be in his own little world. Not only that, but when it comes to like I was talking about earlier, the diseases and things like that, there's a lot of stuff you can do to help counsel. Like we were talking earlier about diets and things of that nature. Understanding your bloodline, you also start to understand your nutrition because you got certain things that you can't even eat or whatever. You got certain things that you can't that's gonna affect you differently than affect the next person. You got things that will help you out in order to control the autism, for instance. You got certain diets. My son has certain diets that he can eat, certain foods he can eat, things of that nature. Come to find out, based off what I found out, he's supposed to be eating this from the get-go anyway. Because this is what we are, this is what we are known to help our metabolism, to help our what's the shit that helps you cure diseases and shit.
Your immune system.
Your immune system, things of that nature, just natural stuff that you are already supposed to have in your diet and things of that nature. And have you had the full spectrum, you be in a whole different ball game just in general. So like, and it's a lot of reasons why a lot of people are in success is because they understand the history and they have the honor that history and be successful themselves. It gives them a certain drive because they know where they come from. They know what they stacked up against. They know that, even though I'm not in competition, I am in competition because I want to be the best person I can be. And based off of my legacy, where I came from, that's a legacy.
Right,
come from something.
Right. Let me get into this comment here from Natty Boy. He said, "We are the Kraus. We are shit." I sound like, I guess one of my ancestors couldn't read because I'm having a hard time. Hey, we are the crossroads where we have people using the past as a crutch to not be successful, but we have others that use that as a motivation to strive for greater success. 100%. Ultimately, that does cause envy and dislike towards others because one is thriving and the other is using the woe is me, and I can't do it. I feel you. We as fathers do play an important role in our children, in our children's lives, and make sure they can reach those goals and having that support system. Yeah, that's us. We appreciate the engagement, 100%, brother. Yeah, I mean, I agree with him 100%, man. A lot of us do use that as crutches to.
I always ask you, what's success? What's success? Success is a personal. It's a personal goal, and you never base success off of society standards. Success is based off of what you wanted in life. What was your goals in life based off what you had to go through in life. So I always said, me personally, be successful was just to be able to say, I can take care of myself. I can take care. If I have a family, I can provide for them. I can be there for the family members, because me not having family members, you know what I'm saying, when I needed family members, made me be more maybe have what, believe it or not having them gave me a stronger tie to them, because I would never want somebody that shares my last name, that shares my bloodline, to not be able to have somebody to call on, even if it's just for emotional support. Like, you just need to listen to somebody. You know what I mean? Like, I got family members going through everything. And I always feel like, you know what I'm saying? And they'll tell you themselves, I can always call Roy.
So,
you know?
so I'm hearing a lot of, and although I'm picking this up, others may not pick this up, right? I'm hearing a lot of good characteristics of what a man is, right? So break some of those things down as to what a man is and what a man should be.
It depends on it really depends on what type of personality they are. Because certain people can't do certain things. They don't have the personality for it. They don't mean they can't be a man. They just can't be the type of the person that you are. You know what I'm saying? Your definition of a man. It don't make him any less. As long as he's doing what he's supposed to do as a man, you're a man. You know what I'm saying? You can't be assertive. A lot of people can't be assertive. A lot of people can't be sure of themselves. A lot of people need reassurance. Some people need to follow the crowd because they can't think for themselves. So they gotta be around certain situations. Unfortunately, it's like that. Everybody can't be an alpha. Some people are betas. Some people are omegas. It's just you. Are you gonna be a good person? That's what makes you a man. Trying to be a good person and trying to be better than the day before. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel about it.
Stop the cap.
Nah, bro. So what you just told me was a transgender woman.
No, I never said that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Because Bruce Jenner or Caitlyn, or if it was the other way around, I'd get confused.
You got a personality disorder.
However, you said being a good person.
Ain't no good person. Kill somebody.
So when Jenny becomes John, and John is a good person, does that make John a man?
A man.
No. Because she's not biologically a man. So you can't, just because they want to play make-believe, don't mean I got to play make-believe with them. I'm talking about men. Like, I'm not talking about people playing make-believe and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Is Kris Jenner's, what's his name? Bruce Jenner's a good man? You got to ask his kids and his family. I don't know him on a personal level.
Well,
They even say that.
Is he
now? If he went loopy and decided to cut his thing off and things of that nature, that's on him.
Is he still even considered a man at this point? Anyway, I digress. But I'm just saying, we just gotta be more definitive in what it is, right? So I start with some basic man principles, right? Then
some core values.
Right, some core values
that transcend all races, economic situations. There are some core principles that apply to manhood all around.
100%. Integrity. A man says what he means and means what he says. And as these young folks say, he's staying on business. He's staying on business. You know what I mean? If he said it, God damn it, that's what it is. All right. Number one, integrity. Look, Natty boy, look, he was already on the same page with me. I brother read my mind. Integrity. That's number one, right? Number two, self-control, discipline, right? One of the main things that separates a man from a woman is that we say that women are more emotional and men are more logical, right? We can't say some, but those that are more logical, what makes them that way is that they're more disciplined and self-controlled, right? They don't fly off the handle of the first emotion that they feel. Even if they feel fucking rage immediately, they will step back, think about it, right? Evaluate the situation and come back to it. So self-control is vital. I guess we could put self-control and discipline in the same thing, right? Because that also ties into the way you live your life, right? Handling your responsibilities, prioritizing your responsibilities, right? So I got kids, right? I can't go buy a Lamborghini because I got to think about college. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Discipline, self-control. I want it bad. You know what I mean? But some things we have to be more disciplined about in our spending. We have to be able to think about the future, which kind of leads me into the next point: sacrifice. This is one of those things that aren't really talked about a lot. Sacrifice. Men are expected to, and I would say in society, required to sacrifice.
Yeah.
From today's time, dating back as far as you want to, sacrifice. We were the ones who went to war and put our lives on the line, right? For who? Our women and our children, right? We were willing to make the ultimate sacrifice for the greater good. And that's something that I think hasn't really translated well in our latter generations, is that sacrifice that we make. Just like I want that Lamborghini, but I have to sacrifice that Lambo to make sure that my offspring is good first. You know what I mean? And we sacrifice a lot of our pieces of ourselves and a lot of our wants and desires for the greater good of the legacy. And if that doesn't happen, there is no legacy.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Well, I love when I talk, boy. I leave the room quiet and speechless.
I thought something was wrong with the mic, for real.
Hey, look, I make a motherfucker think about some shit.
I thought you cut out on me for a second, cuz I thought something was wrong with the mic, man.
But to add on that, you're absolutely right about that. I think a man is just going to protect his legacy when it's all come down to it, and that's one of the biggest things that comes with the self-control. Like the Cat Williams episode on Shannon Sharp, John. That's somebody who's protecting his legacy. You know what I'm saying? And after a while, a certain person, you say self-control, but after a while, a person who's on attack, who's being attacked, is going to eventually, you know what I'm saying, protect that, because I know what I am as a person. That's why when we went on that little rant, I understood that rant. I posted on Facebook about it a couple of days ago when he was just like, he was like, you can't talk bad about me. Not the guy that adopts children and takes children in, not the guy that gives to the homeless, not the guy that does this, not the guy that haven't touched a hard drug in his life. I understood that, because the most judgmental people in this world are the ones that's going through something. But you know what I'm saying, based off of their own choices in life, and they try to give people, like you said, excuses for the reason why you're in the position that you're in and they're not in it. You get what I'm saying? Like, I had somebody tell me one day, right? This is a true statement. The only reason why you're in that position is because you get that check. As if, like, you know what I'm saying, I didn't dedicate, you know what I'm saying, a certain amount of time of my life to the military, serving my country, and seen some things to get it.
But look here, you put yourself in situations that the average person would run from, you ran towards, right? Going to war, fighting for your country, and fighting for everything you believe in is an honorable thing to do.
But it's the
fuck what they think.
Yeah, I understand that aspect. But that's why I was just like, no, I told him straight up, I said, what I did, anybody could have done. I said, either you're gonna man up and do it, or you're not going to man up and do it. But don't make excuses. Don't downplay my success to make excuses for your failures. And we do that a lot in our society, to where men, like even OJ had a great life, a great career. He did a lot of great things. But when he died, you got people talking bad about him on his deathbed. You know what I'm saying? He's dead. He's not here. And this is what happens. We pick and choose who we talk about in society. That's the reason why it's hard to be a man in society.
Well, some people, I mean, a lot of people are root themselves they're rooted in, and they judge themselves based on what others around them are doing, right?
Yeah.
So how can I be content with myself if people around me are successful, driven, and doing things, right? I have to make concessions for myself of why they're successful and I'm not. Yeah, I mean,
You ain't got to. You just get that motivation and dedication and do exactly what they do.
I'm speaking from their perspective. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to look at you as something to emulate, right? I'm gonna look at all the negative things so I can justify my my lack of ambition and lack of success. Well, anyway, look here. We can go on, and I'm sure there's gonna be a part 2, part 3, because there's layers to this manhood shit. It's just not as cut and dry as a 30-second TikTok video. You know what I mean? But, y'all got some final thoughts before we get up out this joint?
Yeah. I'm just gonna summarize it like this. You know, I feel like y'all kind of beat around the bush a little bit, and y'all said it like in different ways. But a key thing too is, you know, taking on accountability. You know, because for example, you blaming someone else, or you blaming other people for your lack of success, or saying, hey, the only reason you got this is because of X, Y, and Z, that all falls under a lack of accountability.
Exactly.
You know, when you take something and you don't use it as an example, or, you know, a prototype to find your own way, but you use it to make excuses, you know, that's not a man. You know, I'm the type of person, hey, if he did it,
I can do
it. And you know, I'm not even that set. I'm not even that dead set. Hey, maybe I can do it. And if I can't do what he did, maybe I can do something that's better, or like, you know, or maybe I could be on, you know, the same playing field. You know, maybe there's a lateral move. Maybe there's another destination for me that's on that level, but I don't have to do exactly what this person's doing. But, you know, the bottom line is that success, you know, find that success within yourself, you know, and apply it, man. It's not complicated.
Look, that's the perfect way to put a bow tie on and wrap it up. Hey, we'll do this again. What, tomorrow? The day after?
All
right, fam. Peace.
Peace.